forgot that too. Here we go. So integers are positive and negative whole numbers. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So, someone give me an example then. What's an example of an integer? Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. What's an example, Peyton? What? 1. The number 1 is an integer. McKenna? 2. Caitlin? -5. Ethan? -9. Destiny? 0 is an integer. You are correct. 0 is not positive or negative, but it is considered a whole number. And we can keep going on and on and on, right? Any number that's positive, any number that's negative, including 0, are integers. Is a half an integer?
No.
Why not? It's not a whole number. It's a what? It's a half. It's a fraction, right? What if I said 0.9? Is 0.9 an integer? No, because it's a fraction or a decimal, right? So fractions and decimals are not integers. So anytime you're talking about specifically integers, you're only talking about whole numbers. No no decimals, no fractions. So we have to know how to graph numbers on a number line. Do we all remember how to write a number line?
Yes.
Okay, 0 is always between your positive and your negatives, correct? It breaks it up. 0 is always in the middle. It's always going to be there. So please do not forget about 0. I have students who forget about it all the time. Most students are used to positive numbers always go what direction? What number do positive numbers always go? Right. So positive numbers are right of 0. Which means negative numbers are always what? What, everyone? That's so not everyone. Negative numbers are what direction?
Left.
Thank you. Do you guys notice that it says 0 and then they both say 1? One's a positive, one's a negative 1? Positive 2, negative 2? So it's like that 0 acts as a mirror. So if you know how to do your positive numbers, your negative numbers are the same but reverse. You're just reversing the order. Okay, so let's talk about integers in the real world. This just means like if I were to say something, okay, like if I were to say I'm climbing up, do you think that's a positive integer or a negative integer?
Positive.
Why? Because I'm going up. So climbing up means going up, means positive. It's going in that positive direction. So what do you think the opposite of climbing up would be?
Climbing down.
Climbing down. Anything that means going up means positive. Anything that means going down means negative. So if we talk about temperature then, what do you think a positive temperature would be? My temperature is, okay, and if I have a fever, it's what? So that means my temperature is increasing, correct? So if I have temperature increase, it's a positive integer. If we say temperature what? Decrease, it's a negative. What if I'm earning money? What do you think earning money is? Earning money is a positive or a negative, guys? So I'm going to write earning money. What about spending money? What would spending money be? Negative. So anything that means like positive, increasing, things like that is a positive integer. Anything that means negative, going down, is a negative integer. There's two words that we need to know which always trick people, and it's the word deposit and the word withdraw. And those words are bank words. So when parents deposit money into your bank account or you're withdrawing money from your bank account. What do you think deposit means? If parents are depositing money, what does that mean? Those of you with your hands up, what do you think? You're putting money into your bank account, right? And if I'm putting money into my bank account, is my bank account going up or going down? So a deposit has to be positive or negative? Positive, good. So when you see that word deposit, it means positive. And what's withdraw mean? That's when you're taking money out. That's like you're spending money, which means it is a negative. I think that's how you spell it. Does that make sense, guys? Questions on that so far? Alright, so let's do just a couple of examples. So I'm going to go to the next page just because I don't have room. Let's say I gave you this example. Sarah lost 6 inches of fabric. Sarah lost 6 inches of fabric. What's the key word in this, guys? Okay, so if lost is my key word, what does lost mean? Is it a negative or a positive, guys? So in my answer, I'm going to have a what? I'm going to have that negative sign, that minus sign. And a negative what? So my answer is negative 6. That's all it is. It's asking yourself, can you read and write down an integer based on a sentence? Because eventually you'll have word problems, right? So this is the starting point for word problems. Okay, let's just do one more of that. What if I say Mark deposited $89 into his account. What's the key word in this one, everyone? What was it?
Positive.
And deposited, is that a positive or a negative?
Positive.
And I want a positive what?
Number.
What number?
89.
So how many of you wrote plus 89? How How'd the rest of you write it? Are both answers accepted?
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those invisible math rules that's on my backboard, guys. It's the first blue one. Okay? There is always a positive number, or a positive sign, a plus sign in front of every single number, whether it is listed or not. So you don't have to have the plus sign, but you have to have the negative sign. Is that understood? Any questions on that? Natalie? That's okay, you just don't need it. Yep, just don't need it unless they ask you to label, then do it, but otherwise you do not need it. Alright, what if I gave you this example? What if I gave you the numbers 2, -3, 6, and -1? Write down those numbers for me. I want you to plot them on a number line, which means I have to draw a what? Number line. So you're going to start off by drawing a number line. Now you can put whatever numbers you want on this number line. You're not right, you're not wrong, as long as these 4 numbers are there, but they A, must be in order, and B, you cannot skip any numbers. So you have to count in numerical order. So my suggestion is always to find the smallest number. 2, -3, 6, -1. Which number is the smallest?
-3.
So my first number I would put on my number line would be a -3. Because I A, have to have a -3, and it is my smallest number. Now I'm going to count towards the positive direction. So if I have a -3, what number comes directly after -3? -2. Why is it not a -1? It's not in order. I cannot skip numbers. Because now what comes? Now I can put that -1. So do not skip numbers when you're doing a number line. Always put them all down, unless I give you permission to count by like 5s or something like that, okay? What comes after -1? 0. I have a lot of students who forget that 0. Do not forget that 0. Now what comes?
1.
And this is the easy part, right? The negatives are tricky, the positives are usually pretty good for people. What number do I need to stop on? Or can I stop on? 6. Now I could have -4 on my number line. I could have 7 on my number line. That part does not matter. But do you see how we need to make sure we have all numbers listed? Does that make sense, guys? So now what do you think I need to do? I need to put dots. I need to put marks. So I'm going to put a dot where? I'm going to put a dot on 2. And I'm going to put it right on my number line. I'm not going to put it above it, nothing like that. I'm going to put it directly on that number line. Where's the next dot going to go? My next dot's going to go on. And my last dot's going to go on. Questions? McKenna.
I like box the numbers that were like on the ones that we use. I boxed them instead, or
Make sure you put dots on your number line, okay, sweetie? Alright.